Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Your host, Zulu. So today we have one interesting question under probability, but specifically the binomial distribution. So the question reads to say a fair die is rolled 6 times. If X denotes the number of fours obtained, find A, the expected value of X, and B, the standard deviation of X. So when we are dealing with the binomial distribution, you need to understand the general binomial distributions formula, which states that X is binomially distributed between N and P. So X is binomially distributed between N and P. Then immediately now, we do this. Remember, N is the number of events which occurred, and P is the number of success, and we said Q is the number of failures which were there in the play. So when you are dealing with the binomial distribution, the first aim, when you are not given the number of events, you need to find the number of events when you read and understand what is contained in the information which we have been given. So this die was rolled basically how many times? 6 times. So 6 times is basically the number of events which had occurred. But they are telling us to say if X denotes the number of fours obtained. So the number of fours obtained were successively obtained, isn't it? Yes. So the number of fours obtained will be represented as what? As P. Then immediately we represent the number of successful terms as P. Remember, you only have 1 4 on each and every die that exists in the universe. You only have 1 4, but the die has how many sides? 6 sides. So you have 1 over 6. It is like find the probability of obtaining a 4. So it is 1 over 6. Then if the probability or the successful the successful rollings that you can get a 4 are 1 over 6, which means the number of failures that a 4 will not be obtained is 5 over 6. Why 5 over 6? Because you have 5 sides which are not made up of 4. Remember, 1, 2, 3. We'll skip 4 to 5 and 6. Why? Because 4 is here. So that if you were to add the number of successes and the number of failures, you should obtain 1. Then immediately now we do this. Remember, they want the expected value of X. So in this case, the expected value of X is found as the expected value of X will be found as, let's say the expected value of X is found as N times P, where N is the number of events which were there, which is 6, times the number of success, which is 1 over 6. So if you were to multiply, you will get your answer to be 1. So 1 is the expected value of X. Then now we are told to find the standard deviation of X. So for us to be able to find the standard deviation of X, remember we said the standard deviation is the same as what? Sigma. So sigma squared. Remember, sigma, if we were to square sigma squared, we'll get what is referred to as the standard deviation. So variance is given by N times P times Q. Is given by N times P times Q. So this is the formula for variance. N times P times Q, where P is the number of successful terms and Q is the number of successful failures. So N is the number of events. So N is 6 times the number of successes is 1 over 6 times the number of failures, which is 5 over 6. So if you were to multiply, you will get your answer to be 5 over 6. Why? Because 5 from what is just above here, you can say that this is 1. 1 times what is here is still 5/6. But if you want, you can put your answer as a decimal, and you will have 0.833. So this is equivalent to 0.8333. Then remember, this is the variance, but we are interested in finding the standard deviation. So we will now square the value that we have. So we will say 5/6 and we find the square root of it. Remember, for you to find the standard deviation, if you were to square variance, you will get the standard deviation. So we just square what we got and we'll get our answer to be 0.9129. So this is the value of the standard deviation. Your host, Golden Zulu.